Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Where do we go from here? If you want to go anywhere. Huh? खत्म कर लेने. I don't need. It's okay.
Since their birth, let me actually repeat the last line. When out hunting, he brought great misfortune on himself by killing a stag when it was with its mate. This is for Pandu.
He was cursed. He was cursed. We must understand that we live in the logical mind, and the higher it, when it descends, it does not descend into it. It comes in a different kind of language. The logical mind has to complement it, but if it kills it, then the higher won't reveal itself for a very long time. It will be a kind of curse for the lower mind. So he saw the higher, but he killed the higher, right? And so many truths we kill with the logical mind, right? And that we have to be careful about.
Since their birth, Pritha's sons spent their lives there according to the prescribed norms.
Hmm?
Since their birth, Pritha's sons, Kunti's sons,
Prithas, children,
Pritha's
yeah.
sons,
Hmm.
spent their lives there according to the prescribed norms.
Hmm. So they were brought up by the rishis in the forest according to the norms of yoga and whatever, yeah. Hmm. Duryodhan was brought up in the palace in luxury. They were brought up in the forest. Hmm.
In accordance with what is laid down in law, their two mothers conceived sons from Dharma, Vayu, Shakra, and the two gods, the Ashwins.
So these are what essences came down. What was the quality of the essence? What was the predominant quality of the essence? So in Yudhishthir, the predominant quality of the essence was dharma, right? Goodness to all beings, right? Justice for everyone, right? Dharma, right? And what do you call dharma also means that he would have a kind of understanding of the third force, right, which connects everything, right?
Vayu,
Vayu, right? Bhim was the son of Vayu, right? And Vayu is matter at electronic speed. Hmm? And the incoming impulses is matter at electronic speed. And the sex energy is matter at electronic speed. The sex energy number is 12 and the sun is also 12. So that is also matter at electronic speed. So it is electronic matter. So the first was dharma, right? The second was vayu, speed, right?
Shakra,
Chakra is Indra, the energy of sensitivity. The energy of sensitivity, from sensitiveness to sensitivity, from excitement to sensitivity.
Saab,
But there was one thing which will come later, is that after giving birth to uh, Arjun, what do you call, Yudhishthir and Bhima, Pandu had to sit in meditation for 1 year to be able to allow his wife to conceive Arjun. Right? So the quality of Arjun was totally different. Right? And the word Arjun comes from the word Arji, the disciple, the posture of the inner disciple, Arji. Right? Arjun also comes from Ruju. Ruju means to be soft. To be soft. Right.
one question, Saab.
Yeah.
Since you said that matter in electronic form and the speed, 24 and 12. So then what is death in electronic form?
24 is molecular.
Correct.
So
So death, you spoke about the sun and sex energy.
sex energy is the energy of death.
But,
Death is sex energy.
but you've also once said, no, that is at a higher speed than sex energy.
So in a way, because things are disintegrating in one dimension and jumping into another dimension, it is a little at a higher speed than, say, or double the speed of sex energy.
Double the speed.
Right.
But the molecular, the element structure remains the
Both
same.
are electronic substances. Sex energy is also electronic. See, when you achieve orgasm in the sex energy, for that single moment you are thrown into that point where creation began. Only we are not awake in that point. We are not a witness in that point. So there's a kind of swoon before going into that. We go into but even in mechanical sex, right? For that fraction of a second, we are thrown into that point where the whole of creation began. Right?
And the two gods, the Ashwins.
Ashwinis. That was the children of Madri, right? The children. And Madri, what do you call, the mantra was given to Kunti, right? And it was given by Durvasa. That is a long story how Durvasa gave the mantra to her. And she then allowed Madri, because Pandu asked her to allow Madri to use the mantra. And because she had already had 3 children, Madri asked for twins. And this was not liked by Kunti, that she asked for twins. So there was a kind of, conflict between them at this point. So then she said, I won't allow you further use of the mantra. But the twins one was a beautiful, handsome being, and the other was a hidden astrologer. And he knew all the outcome of all the events beforehand, right? But before he was born, he was asked not to reveal, so he could not reveal them to anyone. Sahadev, the one who walks with the gods. The one who walks with the gods.
They grew up under the care of their two mothers and in the society of holy sages in sacred groves and forests.
So they were in a place like the Nemish Aranya. They were in a place like that. So all the sages brought them up together.
Then, on their own, the sages took them to the presence of Dhritarashtra and his sons.
So when after Pandu died, the sages then said, let us take them to the palace. And when Duryodhan saw his cousins coming from far away, the first thing that came was jealousy. Jealousy. It was not that my cousins are there, I want to meet them, but was jealousy that now I'll have to share with them. Right. So the
They
seed was sown at that time only.
they were dressed as brahmacharis and students with sacred tufts in their hair.
So they were dressed like sadhus, yeah.
The sages said, "These students of ours are the sons of Pandu, your sons, brothers, and friends." Saying this, the sages left.
So they left them at the palace, right?
On seeing the sons of Pandu who had thus been left with them, the Kauravas, the learned among the castes and the townspeople, exclaimed loudly with joy.
The people were very happy, the town people were very happy, the elders were very happy, but Duryodhan was not happy at all.
However, some said they were not the sons of Pandu. Others said they were. Others wondered how they could be the sons of Pandu when Pandu had died long ago. However, voices were heard from all directions saying that they were welcome nonetheless.
Okay.
Through great fortune, Pandu's offspring could now be seen. They must be welcomed. Such voices were heard everywhere.
So the people wanted to welcome them. Is there anything else? That's it.
When the tumult of the people had died down, an enormous outcry was heard from the invisible beings, and all the direction echoed with the sound. As Parth and the others entered, there was a shower of fragrant flowers and the sound of conch shells and kettle drums.
Right. So from another dimension, from the heavens, flowers showered on them when they entered the, what do you call? Palace, right? And conch shells were blown.
The last line. Delighted because of their love for them, the townspeople's loud cries rose up to heaven and increased the Pandavas' fame.
So the cries of the town people, the conch shells and everything together rose and touched the heavens, rose and touched the heavens. So not only were the people happy, the elders were happy, but the whole of the environment was very happy that these people had come over there. The Pandavas had come. Right. Huh? Okay.
We finished, I think, 6 pages, right? Yeah. So we'll take up tomorrow with the next page. Okay.
Bol.
Are you tired, Saab?
It's okay. We've still got half an hour. So anyone wants to ask anything?
If there are online questions now, then you better take them now.
Whatever. That disinfectant chamber is a very deep question. I'll have to go into it. I don't want to answer this now. Yeah. Right. First of all, that person should tell me what he understands by disinfectant chamber. Right. So, Bol. What else? No, the lady in red has a question. Mhm.
In what we read right now, it said, however, some said they were not the sons of Pandus, others said they were. So why is this mentioned here, the confusion? Does it have any significance in the entire
Doubt
thing?
is a normal quality of the human mind. So, everybody knew that Pandu was cursed. So, if he was cursed, how did he have children, right? So questions like that were to come up. And the children were born not through the sex act, they were born through Manasputra, through transference of Sankalp Shakti. They were born. So Pandu was not involved. Can you get it? Right? We say Christ was the begotten Son of God. Right? So uh, uh, they say that Joseph went into an Essene monastery and where he learned the art of conception without entering into the sex act. Right? So they were born through Manasputra, through transference. They were born. Huh?
Sampan.
Manasputra, Manputra. Through the seed of mind. They were born from the seed of the mind.
And the other word that you said, Joseph went to the monastery of?
The Essenes.
Ah,
Essenes was a community, a very, what do you call, esoteric community at that time. And it seems that Joseph was taken to India and he was trained in this art of transference without entering into the sex act. And that is how Mary conceived. Right? Yeah, give the back. Who's this?
Yeah.
Nitish. I can't see you. You're in the dark, I'm in the light. Right?
Hello. Hello. Sir, as you told that Karna is a great warrior. So I am
Is a
some great warrior. Karna.
warrior, yeah.
Yeah. So can you throw some light on Karna, like on his lifetime and on his incident?
He's Surya Putra. Surya Putra. Right? And so Surya is the higher. He was born in the higher, but what do you call, brought up in the lower. He was born in the higher, brought up in the lower. So he was born as Surya Putra. He was brought up as Sut Putra. Sut Putra. So we have to see within ourselves what is higher within ourselves and what we use in the lower. What we use in the lower. So lower one is negative emotions. Negative emotions. So all our energy we get from the sun and we waste it in the negative emotions. And how do we waste it in negative emotions? Because of our ears. She says something to me, Karna, right? And I react and I throw it out. So Karna means ears. A person who is a victim of suggestibility, right? He himself did not believe that Draupadi was a Vaishya, but to please Duryodhan, he said those words that Draupadi is a Vaishya, right? So he is a victim of suggestibility, right? And our ears are victims of suggestibility, right? So Karna is that which is born in the higher, but comes down and wasted in the lower. It is that energy within us. And it is trying to remember just now. The Karan, the organ, is the lower mind. And the lower mind is argumentative. And so the lower mind cannot be defeated in an argument. So as a warrior, you cannot defeat Karna. You can only defeat him when he has come down from the mind. He's what do you call stepped down from his chariot. Stepped. That is why Krishna asked Arjun to kill him when he stepped down from the chariot. So a person who argues, and you meet all these kind of people, they are Karnas wherever you go. One of the what do you call, you go somewhere to teach the exercise and you meet a guy and he says, I'm doing the exercises. So I'll ask him, is your wife doing the exercises? So you talk to her, so she'll come. He's saying, this guy has not changed in 20 years, why should I do the exercises? Right? Nothing has changed in him. Right? So they have good arguments on not doing the thing. Right? So that is Karna. That is Karna, the lower mind. Bolo.
Sir, may I request light on how to be with the master, and when I'm not with the master physically present, how may I have my master with me, or I be with my master all the time?
Some things are, they're not what do you call questions of the logical mind, the questions of the heart, right? And the way of the heart, how to put it in the words? How do you put it in words? Right? But I'll tell you something else. The real master is within us. Within us. And we have to allow that master to reveal himself. The real master. The master is there outside. And he leads us to the inner master. So there is what is called a guru-shishya relationship, but that relationship is now outdated. It is now outdated. So I was the last in the batch. Then that school has closed down. Right? So I'm the last batch. Right? Then the school has closed down after that. Today's brain wants all answers intellectual. Right? Yeah, you'll ask me a question, how to be with the master. Right? And I'll give you an intellectual answer, which is not the answer. Which is not the answer. So the thing is that but there must be an inner realization that there is something which has to be transferred. Something which has to be transferred. And it cannot be transferred as long as the cup is full. It can only be transferred if the cup is empty. It is not transferred in words. It is not transferred in teaching. Right? At a certain point when the disciple is empty and he's ready. The master pours his being into the disciple. Right. But now with the very, what do you call, growth of the intellectual center to such an extent, whether anyone is capable of being so empty is impossible. Today, you see, you're filling yourself with more knowledge of how to be empty. Can you get it? Right? And it's a kind of death. It is a kind of death. Right? And so he will die so that he can work through you. But it is a death with joy. Death with joy. So it is, you have to come to that inner understanding, right? That where you put your logical mind on the side and you live with the master in a state of sensitivity. You don't, everything is like a kind of, what do you call, absorption. So if he's reading the newspaper, it is a kind of absorption. If he's watching Bold and Beautiful, it is a kind of absorption. Right? So you're drinking him in that moment. You're giving up your being and taking his being inside. Right? And at a certain moment, when you go through this process where you give up your own being, right? And you're drinking him all the time, at that certain moment there is a merging and there's a transfer. Right? You'll wake up in the morning, you'll wonder where all this knowledge has come from. You never worked for all this knowledge. But something has transferred, and that transfer happened beyond teaching. So the Gita we have from Sanjay, it is in the form of a teaching. But definitely the Gita which Krishna gave to Arjun was a transfer. Was a transfer. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? So the idea is to live in the sensitivity of the master, to drink his every moment, to be able to hear what he says before he says it. Right? To understand his every gesture, his every, what do you call, movement, and to be in rhythm with him, to be in one with him. And for that you have to put your logical mind on the side. And the thing is that the logical mind keeps coming back. There are so many times you come, person, so then again to rise at, and again become. So then he made a statement, Rajan is Omkar, Tavariya is Omkar, and both are one. Both are, it's the transference happens. But there was an understanding. I met Mr. Tavariya, I'd been 3 masters before that. And there was an understanding that my time with him is going to be very limited. And before that, I should be ready. I don't think I was ready, but he had nobody else. So I got it as a lottery. Right. worry about how to live with the master. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Right? The real master is within you, and he'll catch your hand one day. Just prepare the ground. Like if a guest is coming to the home, coming to our bed, then how we prepare everything. Prepare your inner self to receive that inner master. Right? That very preparation will call the master. Bolo. The most beautiful, what do you call, relationship in life is to be a disciple. Right? And there are times when you feel as if you've gone back into your mother's womb. You're in the master's womb and he's protecting you from all sides. And there is no worry in the world. You know, when you leave school, there are all rules in school, and right, you have to get up at this time and be on the PT field at this time and breakfast at this time, and etc., etc. And then you leave school and suddenly you're free of all the rules. In college, there are no rules. You want to attend class, you attend class. You want to go to canteen, you go to canteen. You want to go to the discotheque opposite the college, screw the college, go to the discotheque, right? No rules in college. Every sudden freedom there, right? And no worries because all the money comes from home, right? So the money comes from home, right? And there's nobody to tell you anything, and you're suddenly in that state. So that very same thing, when you're in the womb of the master, there is no worry. What is going to happen tomorrow? What has happened yesterday, right? Do I have enough money in the bank, right? Absolutely no worries. You're in college again. Huh? No worries, right? And it is as if he takes care of everything. He takes care of everything. And then one day the master is not there and all the worries come back, right? What to do tomorrow, whom to ask, what to this, what this, right? And suddenly you're thrown into the world. You're thrown into the world. And you have to find your path in the world. And that's where the real examination comes, whether you've learned to walk on your own feet or not. Well, so prepare the inner place, refining exercise every day, the 3-step rhythmic breathing every day, right? Prepare and practice. As the inner is refined, the inner master will reveal itself. He cannot reveal himself unless there's a certain degree of cleanliness, a certain degree of refinement, a certain degree of emptiness. Then it will reveal itself. Hello, what else? Anything else? Give it to Mr. Lloyd.
I just want to ask, does the connection remain after the master passes away?
I would say it becomes even stronger after the master passes away. It becomes even richer after the master passes away. And it becomes multi-dimensional after the master passes away. And you sense the master in every small act of life. And supposing you come to me with a problem and ask me the problem, I don't answer the problem. But I sense Ram Dulare Bapu and I know that he was the master of every problem and this is the answer to the problem. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? So there's a sensitivity of the master in every field of life. It becomes so multidimensional. So, Bahu Ayami, what we call in Hindi. So then he is there everywhere. He is there everywhere. Right? So it does not go with death of the master. I'll tell you later on whether it goes with my death or not. Right?
Even if you haven't met the master in this life, can you still develop a connection with the master?
Have you read Shirley MacLaine's book, Climb Every Mountain? You know Shirley MacLaine?
Yeah,
No? She was a famous actress.
yeah.
And then she went on the spiritual path. And she found that she had something called a soul mate. Right? And that was her teacher, and that had been her teacher in so many lifetimes. And then she talks of her relationship. Now, she had never met that person physically, right? It was in another dimension. So it is possible, but there is a, what do you call, there is a different joy in being physically present with the master. You understand what I mean? There's a different joy. Right? One day I borrowed somebody's car and I came for the lecture. And he's shouting from there, hey Rajan, you bought a new car, you bought a new car. You know, there's a difference. This thing. Hey, say, sir, not bought a car, I borrowed my cousin's car. Can you understand that, right? So in the day-to-day affairs, there's a different, what do you call, relationship in that physical relationship. That touch, the sound of his voice, right? It fills you. It fills you. You know, when I used to leave his home, he would come out and he would wait for me to go down one deck of stairs, and from there I'd look up and he would wave back, blessing me. That fills you. You know, you can never, that cannot be there in a non-physical master. Cannot be there in a non-physical master. Right? It's a different thing. So even today, I miss the physical, what do you call, relationship, to be with him. And if somebody was to ask me, give back all the enlightenment just to be, learning with him again, I would say, give it back. If still a good deal, still a good deal, right? So there's something different in that physical relationship, something different, which is not there in a non-physical relationship. But of course, we cannot go back. We have to go forward, right? And so then the sensitivity of the master becomes multidimensional. It is as if it is his sensitivity in every act of life, even when I'm talking to you. Can you see? You can ask anything. Don't remain confused. Bolo. It's very funny because when you drink the teacher, you've suddenly drunk him in so many different frames of life, right? So even today, when I touch money and I count money or I'm dealing with money, I feel as if it's Ramdullah Rai Bapu counting the money. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? The same way he would touch the money. Can you get it? Many times when I'm joking with people, I feel as if I'm not there. It is Ramdullah Rai Bapu who is there. Can you get it? So that when you have drunk the master in every frame of life, right? And then when he's not there one day, then he is in every frame of life. I don't know if I'm coming across it. Right? Bolo. What else? 5 more minutes. Then the ticket is over. Whether we reach our destination or not, the ticket gets over. Don't sit like that. Sit like that. Don't sit like that. To? To her. Your name is Asta. Your name is Harshita. That's why you're laughing all the time. She's always laughing. Right. That is Pradeep's son. Yeah, I recognize. Even if you don't give his name, who he is. I can see Pradeep. That's his daughter. Yes. How's Pradeep? Right? News of Vora? Any news of Vora? No? Huh? You remember Vora, no? Pradeep? No? Okay. Yeah. Yes, somebody else. I haven't seen him in years. I haven't seen him in years. Yeah, please go ahead. You're on the mic. Now you tell me your name. After I've learned their name, I might as well know your name too.
Sir, Vandana. Vandana.
Vandana.
Sir, after hearing after hearing a master, just came to my mind whether we should be going to the temple.
There's a science in going temple. And energy is multi-dimensional. And energy has different experience, gives different impressions, right? Like you go to a garden, you'll see a rose, or you'll see another flower, and you'll see some greenery, you'll see a peacock dancing. So you get so many different impressions, and the richness of impressions. So just as you when you sit down to eat food, you want a little bit of this and a little bit of that sweet and what do you call something fried, all that stuff. So you have so many things in your thali, right? Similarly, you have so much variety in impressions. Some impressions are very, very deep. Means they are not horizontal impressions; they are also vertical impressions. So some of these temples, the vertical movement of energy, like you see what you call a kind of whirlwind, where that energy of the place pulling you, right? Even if you want to daydream, you can't daydream, right? Suddenly you come sense in yourself, your presence is there, you're holding your presence. Not only a holder presence, but the presence is being given an impression from the temple. You can see the salt and